So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
Get ready to hear from the Black and white community speaking on Republicans dismantling interracial marriages. Check it out.
Send it to the states, he says. Send what to the states? States' rights to do what? What should we allow some states to do? Governor Braun, who is working to get a case through the courts to reach the Supreme Court so that the Supreme Court can do the exact same thing they did in Roe v. Wade to Loving v. Virginia, which is to send that back to the states. Zebediah Strange, whatever the F they want, that's why we need a Fed. Yeah, exactly why. They're trying to reword it. Folks, this is real. This is really happening. He is trying to put the shit back in the horse right now. He is. He's trying to put the shit back in the horse right now, but they aren't. Because even his recharacterization of what they're trying to do, which is to send a case to the Supreme Court so that the Supreme Court can do the exact same thing they did in Dobbs, which is to overturn Loving v. Virginia to allow us southern states who have a different view to do what? What different view do they get to express, Governor Braun? What do you want to allow my fucking state to do? Because my beautiful, intelligent, smart, caring, young, Hispanic grandson is in love with a wonderful, beautiful, lily white young woman. What the fuck do you want my state to be able to tell my family? Fuck you. This is who they are. At their core, they are Klan. They are bigots. They have filled our federal departments with these bigots. I showed you the goddamn tapes of it leaving their mouths. Proud Boys are great. They love America. I showed you a governor, a sitting governor, a former senator, telling you out of his own goddamn mouth that the United States Supreme Court needs to allow states to weigh in and do what states believe is right. Do what, Governor? Do what? Make it illegal to marry someone that is not of your race. That is it. That is what they want to do. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you about Medicaid. I told you about Medicare. I told you about Roe. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you they're fucking bigots. I showed you the fucking bigot, racist motherfuckers wearing our badge, us the people, under the collar of our law, telling you, Proud Boys are great people. Proud Boys are great people. They love America. They're fucking racist pieces of shit that hates everybody in America that doesn't look like this. What the fuck do I have to do to get you to just walk into a voting booth and fucking vote? That's all you gotta do. I'm not asking for D-Day. I'm just asking you to vote. But Hakeem Jeffries, I'm sorry, Chuck Schumer, I just said, fuck you!
For who? Because from where I'm sitting as a black woman engaged to a white man, I don't think the other woman of color also in an interracial relationship would have allowed an attack on interracial marriage or gay marriage. But what you said, she wasn't the best option for you. You don't care. Your marriage isn't threatened. Your love isn't questioned. That's what everybody in this country does, right? They vote for themselves. You don't vote for the other. You don't vote for the less than. You don't vote for the different than. You vote for your benefit, and then you make stupid comments like this as if she wouldn't have been a better option for gay people and black people and people in interracial relationships. You guys are thick in the head.
Good evening, everybody. I'm coming on here because I want to say this. He's coming against interracial marriage. And as some of you know who have followed me for a while, my husband is white. And he doesn't want it to go to the Supreme Court because he does not want it to be a federal ban, because he knows he won't get that, right? Loving versus Virginia is entrenched in the Constitution, right? It's there. He would have to come against it. And so what he wants to do is he wants to leave it to the states. He wants the states to decide if you can be married to a different race, right? And y'all, this is the height of racism. This is the epitome of racism. They are saying that they don't want anybody to be married to white people but white people, right? And I want you guys to understand what happened if you married somebody in the 50s and you were black and they were white. Some of y'all need to go ahead and watch Loving versus Virginia, the movie. That woman was arrested so many times and just treated abominably, right? And I want y'all to know that this man loved his wife so much that when they went to the Supreme Court to have the right to be a family, because that's all he wanted to do was be a family. And he said, just tell them that I love my wife. But your current government, your current president wants to come against that. So everybody that is married to Hispanics, Latinos, and especially the ones that are black presenting, Asians who have the darker skin, Caribbean people, Africans. So we're all in this now, right? We're all in this together. He doesn't want you to be able to be married to anybody white. Yep. And he wants to give it to the states so that if it went to the Supreme Court, you know, Thomas is married to a white woman. Amy Coney Barrett has black children. So they know that they're not going to get what they need from them. So they know that they will probably defect and go to the other ones, the other side, and vote with them. And they will lose. And they will lose big. So if they give it to the states, now they don't want to federalize anything now because, you know, he's federalized the troops, but he doesn't want to federalize this. He does not want to come against the federal law. He wants to come against the state law. He wants the states to decide. So I'm going to tell you, Texas, you just need to know right now. Okay? Missouri, you just need to know right now. Indiana, you just need to know right now. This is shameful. For the black people who voted for him, you disgust me. You're the 16% that did it, the 16% of black men, you disgust me. And the 8% of black women, you disgust me because you were bamboozled. You were hoodwinked. And then the rest of you, the fact that you are a one-issue voter got us here. Now is America great again?
Okay, before I get into this, son, you know, I'm speaking from the perspective as a white man in an interracial marriage. And this is for other white people, so y'all aren't fucking surprised when this happens. When, not if, when they come for interracial marriage, I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole lot of fucking white people that walk away from their partners and from their kids. There's going to be some of you white people right now that are like, oh my God, no way, that would never happen. You're just fear-mongering, or you're just this and that. No, listen. I've made a video about interracial marriage before, and the amount of comments that I've gotten from people about their white partners who are completely not in touch with politics or not political are a lot. You will see white partners in these marriages choose white supremacy over their own partners and children. I promise you. Because mind you, these white people have partners and children that look like the people that are being snatched by ICE. They're watching Trump on down talk about their partners being DEI hires at work. Doesn't move them. They don't give a fuck. These same partners, white partners, tokenize their spouse at every turn. So I can't be racist. I have a black, indigenous spouse of color. Y'all see it on here all the time. But when the pressure hits and it's building, white people fucking fold to white supremacy all the goddamn time. That's what's happening right now on a national scale. And we're seeing it. We got concentration camps in America. We got the National Guard in LA and DC. We got ICE snatching up kids, families, deporting them. Doesn't matter if they're fucking citizens or not. And white people aren't moved to do shit. So you think when they come down and they try to attack interracial marriage, it's going to move white people? Absolutely the fuck not. J.D. Vance, I wouldn't be surprised if he set the standard and said, I'm leaving my wife for X, Y, and Z reason. He'll make some bullshit up. And other white Americans will be like, oh, yeah, he did it? All right, yep, then it's safe for me to walk away. When you as a white person can be in an interracial marriage and you see the way the entire country is treating people that look just like your children or your partner, and you just say, I'm not political, or we don't talk about that in my house, you're fucking going to. When the government comes for your shit, well, you're probably not, because you're going to be too scared to say anything or do anything, because you're just going to be scared about violence from other white people for being in an interracial marriage. White people as a whole value white supremacy more than anything in their fucking life. 3 out of 5 white men voted for Trump. 1 out of 2 white women voted for Trump. And everything that's happening right now is what they want. And other white people that don't have a fucking spine, or other white people that don't view their partners as human beings, that don't see their children, their biracial children, as human beings, they'll walk the fuck away. I'm calling it right now.
If the Supreme Court were to overturn Loving v. Virginia, it would not be about interracial marriage. It would be about the fact that a lot of this comes down to there aren't having enough white babies. Once interracial marriage became a thing, white women started marrying everything but white men. Interracial marriage is still not more dominant than same-race marriage, but it's pretty popular. And considering white women are the largest participant in it, yeah, it's fucking with the white population. It's not about whether or not you have the right to marry somebody outside of your race. It's about the fact that white women ain't crapping out them white babies.
Because of that woman petitioning the Supreme Court to overturn gay marriage, or rather the Supreme Court case that allowed gay marriage to be recognized in every single state. And everyone's asking, what is Clarence Thomas going to do when they get to Loving v. Virginia? Because it's so obvious since Roe went down that, like, this is the plan. And Clarence Thomas is black and his wife is white, if you didn't know. And I'm just like, Clarence Thomas, like, people have written that his lifelong dream is to get rid of the Voting Rights Act. And to say that that was wrong and that that is actually like discrimination and focusing on race to like prevent race-based gerrymandering and to try to make sure that like black people and other racial minorities have like an equitable representation and that their votes are not like written out. Mind you, Clarence Thomas is old as fuck, and I'm pretty sure was alive before the Voting Rights Act was enacted in law. Like, I'm pretty sure this man has, like, lived in, like, pre-civil rights America. Like, I'm pretty sure he's that fucking old. So if he's someone who actively is so conservative that he wants to get rid of voting rights and, like, actively aid in diminishing voting rights, what makes you think that he's above or is going to somehow question Loving v. Virginia? He knows what his instructions are. He knows the moves in the tap dance sequence. That man is a Cancer astrologically and in real life. He is a Cancer. Him and I share the same birthday, which is like the worst bit of lore. June 23rd. Terrible. Anyways.
Y'all, I feel like when black people and people of color are in an interracial relationship with a white person, they're settling. They're settling emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. And here's why. Because white people are not emotionally, spiritually, or mentally equipped to be in a relationship with a black person or a person of color. That black person or that person of color that's in a relationship with a white person, they have to go through a lot of mental gymnastics just to be in a relationship with that white person. And let's be honest, a lot of white people do not hold other white people accountable, especially when it comes to racism. And because you are dating or married to this white person, you almost have to be okay with them not checking their Mima, family friend, or coworkers for their racism. And if that black person or person of color has a child with that white person, unless one of the parents are a mixed child themselves, both parents are not equipped to help that mixed or biracial child. And before you go in the comments calling me divisive or racist, please go learn your history because you are not mentally equipped to have this conversation. Gotta go back.
Throughout the years, I have asked black men why some prefer to date or marry white women. I have heard a wide variety of reasons, from it being a status symbol, trophy wife, etc. But one reason that stood out to me most was the idea that there once was a time when a black man could be killed for even looking at a white woman. For some black men, it was the ultimate revenge to covet her, and in other ways, it was considered the forbidden fruit. Let's delve into history of racial relationships between black men and white women that have some black men thinking this way and how other factors should be considered. Historically, there have been instances where false accusations by white women against black men for various offenses, including sexual assault, led to severe consequences. These accusations often fueled racial tensions, resulting in the destruction of black communities and the unjust persecution of black men. This disturbing pattern was notably prevalent during periods of heightened racial animosity in the United States, such as slavery, post-Reconstruction era, and the Jim Crow era. These false allegations contributed to a legacy of racial injustice, impacting both individuals and entire communities. Over the decades, interracial marriage has grown. The approval of interracial marriage in the U.S. has reached a new high of 94%, a significant increase from the mere 4% in 1958, according to a recent Gallup poll conducted from. This trend reflects one of the most substantial transformations in public opinion over the past 6 decades. The U.S. Supreme Court's 1967 decision in Loving v. Virginia, legalizing interracial marriage nationwide, marked a turning point, leading to a gradual increase in support, reaching majority levels in 1997 and exceeding 90% in the current reading. Notably, the racial gap in approval has substantially diminished, with white and non-white Americans showing similar approval rates, 93% and 96%, respectively. This marks a significant change from previous decades, where double-digit gaps existed. The shift in national approval is primarily driven by increasing support among white Americans, while approval among non-white Americans has remained stable. Generational differences in views on interracial marriage have also narrowed, with older adults now nearly as supportive as their younger counterparts. This indicates a positive trend in evolving attitudes across generations. At the same time, While nearly 90% of Americans are in favor of marriages between black and white people, the rate of interracial marriage remains relatively low, at less than 1% of all marriages. This discrepancy may be because the general interracial marriage opinion questions used in surveys are too broad for understanding how people actually feel about marrying outside one's race. Digging further into the data, they find that only 42% of black people and 13% of white people strongly favor their close relative marrying someone of the opposite race. Today, 87% of Americans say they approve marriages between black and white people. However, the responses change dramatically when they are asked more directly about how they feel if one of their close relatives wants to marry outside their race. Results from recent research show that more than half, 54% of blacks, are in favor of their close relative marrying a white person. The result is lower for whites, among whom only 1 in 4, 26%, said they were in favor of their close relative marrying a black person. Such findings show that interracial relations are still unfavorable in the United States. Then there is the power dynamics that exist between black men and white women in relationships. There is a history of racial power dynamics between black men and white women, where white women can use her power against her black husband at any time during their marriage. Power dynamics within interracial relationships between black men and white women can be influenced by societal structures. Situations from falsely accusing black husband of domestic violence to white privilege may contribute to power imbalances. White privilege refers to the unearned advantages that white individuals may experience in various aspects of life due to their racial background. It's possible for a white woman to benefit from societal structures that grant her certain privileges. This can manifest in various ways, such as easier access to educational opportunities, better job prospects, or less exposure to systemic racism. Another topic that rarely is talked about is transfer of generational wealth. The transfer of generational wealth in interracial marriages, particularly when a wealthy black man has a divorce or passes away, introduces nuanced dynamics that can influence the broader black community. The decision to allocate wealth to a white wife rather than the black family poses challenges and raises questions about the impact on the community at large. One notable concern is the potential strain on community relations when a substantial portion of wealth is directed towards a white spouse. This can lead to perceptions of prioritizing individual interests over community well-being, stirring debates within the black community about the responsibility of affluent individuals to contribute to collective progress. Allocating generational wealth to a white spouse may bypass opportunities to address systemic inequality within the black community. Critics argue that directing resources towards community-based initiatives, education, and entrepreneurship could contribute more significantly to long-term upliftment. The decision to transfer wealth to a white spouse may perpetuate economic disparities. Concerns arise about reinforcing existing wealth gaps within the black community, potentially hindering efforts to break cycles of poverty and fostering a sense of disconnection among community members. As affluent black individuals navigate the complexities of wealth transfer, there is a growing call for reflection on the broader impact of their choices. Advocates emphasize the importance of inclusive legacies that not only benefit immediate family members, but also contribute to the economic empowerment of the wider black community. In conclusion, while exploring the multifaceted dynamics of interracial relationships, particularly between black men and white women, we find ourselves at the crossroads of history, power, and wealth. While societal attitudes toward interracial marriage have evolved, the stark reality of lingering disparities, power imbalances, and generational wealth transfer challenges persist. As we navigate this intricate landscape, it becomes imperative for individuals to ponder not only personal choices, but also their broader impact on community well-being. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.